So my uncle calls and he says he's dizzy and he's losing his balance. I'm like, Unc, you want me to take you to a doctor? He's like, no, I'm gonna look up the symptoms. I said, your symptoms are you're dizzy and you're losing your balance. So he said, I can't get on the internet because my arm is numb. I said, well, use your good arm and dial 911. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love is showing symptoms of stroke, don't wait because it might be too late. Dial 911. Time lost is brain lost.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television, and we're also carried by a number of our radio affiliates in Fairfield County. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, and certainly I would be remiss if I didn't thank the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy that produce and put this program together each and every week right here at the Academy in Lancaster. We were joined last week by Sergeant Marian Devault with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Glad to see you with us.
Glad to be back.
And we talked about a lot of things. And for the viewers that, and listeners that may have missed last week's program, you are actually the commander of Canal Winchester.
Right, the city of Canal Winchester.
The city. It's a city now. What's the population? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know yet.
Yeah, I know you're relatively new there.
Yeah, it takes a certain amount of people to make a city. They're not a village anymore. They're a city.
And so that changes a few things.
Yes, it does.
And I think that we talked last week, it's kind of like going back to Policing 101, where right. A lot of it is meeting, greeting, talking. Now, you're getting to know some of the businesses
getting to know
and
the business people, the mayor, who I work closely with, that runs the city.
Right.
I start to say village.
Yeah.
Just the officials that are there, work on the streets or what different capacities.
And I was having lunch there last week in one of the restaurants, and they said, I'll make sure the deputies come by and see us and stop in. They said their experiences over the years with our deputies have been really very, right. Very good.
I have no complaints.
Yeah, that's what they say. And speaking of the of something coming up is the Fairfield County Fair.
Fairfield County Fair.
Big event every year.
It's the last big festival of the year in October, I believe the second week in October. And that just rounds off our festivals for the year. And
we are the last fair in the state of Ohio.
Okay.
So it's kind of like to me, it feels like the fair.
And it's fall.
It's fall. You've got Rising Park there. You've got the trees. They're changing. To me, it just never seemed like a fair if it was like August and it was 90 degrees.
Yes.
It didn't seem like fair. So what are some of the things you've done with the fair?
Handing out items from the sheriff's office, setting up a display, talking to the people, making sure that a lot of the civil employees like to go work it and talk to people. They do, make sure they have everything they need.
And this year, we're kind of reconfiguring some of the things in the tent because we've actually have some banners that we're going to put around the inside of the tent. There's going to be a picture of the SWAT team. There's going to be a picture of our community watch members. We're going to talk about some drug safety.
Good.
So it's going to be pretty nice as far as it's just not going to look like the inside of a tent. We're kind of up our game a little bit.
Okay.
And one thing that we've used at the fair the last few years is we have the Saved by the Belt.
Right. We haven't found one yet, but I'm looking.
So you're taking care of that,
I'm looking. I'm helping the Lieutenant Boris with that.
Well, tell us a little bit about what that is.
If we have an accident in the county and usually a rollover or something pretty bad, that they were saved by the belt because they had the belt on, that they were saved by it.
And then we have the car there.
We try to get the car there, definitely, and a billboard with what happened.
And a picture of the student.
Right. And they all tell their story on that board.
And I remember, I think a couple years ago when I was at the fair, one of the cars there, some person was visiting, they couldn't hardly believe that somebody could have survived that crash. And they couldn't have had they not had their safety belt on.
That is true. That is true. We had a young girl, I'm not sure if she went to Lancaster High School, and she ended up going to her prom that night, rolled the car.
Several times. Huh?
Yes.
So it is very important to use
It
this,
is.
use the seat belts.
It is.
We, as we get into fall and as we get into the holiday season, let's just talk a little bit about cars, because there's going to be people out, they're going to be out at the malls, they're going to be shopping. What are some things some folks can do to help make sure that they keep their cars safe?
I would say where you park in a well-lighted area, don't leave your belongings out in the open. And don't let people see where you're putting them. Put them in the trunk before you get there. Take all your packages out at one time and then leave. Where your car's parked, as you're walking towards it, look around it. Who's parked next to you? Is there a van blocking your view? Could there be somebody else there? And as you walk up to the car, look in it.
That's a good.
Look around and see what's around you as you walk out to your car.
It seems to me that most of these people that are breaking in cars that are doing these things are kind of opportunists.
It is. They're just looking for somebody that forgot.
They're kind of looking at, and then one thing that's kind of helped over the years, and I think a lot of people don't even think about this,
Yes.
is now we have these panic buttons
Right.
on our cars. So it's probably not a bad idea, especially if it's late at night. Maybe you're by yourself. If you're walking out to a parking lot toward your car, that you go ahead, and if you see something suspicious, you can hit that.
Right, and you got the horn going off, the alarm.
And
Lights.
scare them away.
Right.
Those kind of things help. I even had a person tell me that where their bedroom is at their home, it's close enough to where their garage is that they actually lay that by their bed. And if someone they don't have an alarm system on their house, but if someone would break in their house, they can use that.
Right.
It's kind of like a home alarm or something to scare the person away.
Right.
So kind of great things. The other thing I think is important, and I know you agree with this, is if you're out at night especially, and you're walking toward your car and you see somebody out there near the car, something looks suspicious, go on back in.
Right. Go back in the store. Most stores have security personnel, especially the mall. They'd be glad to walk you out and to make sure that everything's okay. If it's that bad, I mean, the police department would come out
Right.
and check it.
Right.
Don't keep going to your car if it doesn't look right. You know the feeling.
Right. If something doesn't feel right, it's probably
Probably
not. Get a hold of the mall security,
Yes.
get a hold of security, get a hold of a clerk there, but sure don't walk out into
Right.
what could be a dangerous situation.
Definitely. It's not worth those few extra minutes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
One of the things that I know on first shift, a lot of times we take burglary reports.
Yes, we do. Daytime burglary and perfect time of year. The kids are back in school and parents are at work, and you'll have someone maybe knock on the front door, nobody answers, they'll go to the back door. That's just another opportunity. So I tell everybody, watch out for your neighbor. Watch out when you're driving down the road. It may be something you see, it doesn't look right.
And today with our cell phones, and I was surprised now that probably 65-70% of all calls that go into our radio room are through cell phones.
Cell phones.
So they use those.
Right.
But if you see something suspicious,
Call in.
neighbor, call in.
We're 24 hours a day. Call us and let us know. I'd rather know and it's nothing than come later and it was something.
Yeah, I think all of us agree. We would rather go out
Yes.
10 times and have it be nothing than that one time when a neighbor says, I don't want to bother the police, I don't want to call the sheriff's office and bother them, and have that one time where your neighbor
Right.
actually has their home broken into.
Right.
What are some other ways that people can do to protect their homes?
Alarm system, lights on when you're not home. Maybe it's on a timer.
Good.
You know, and let your neighbor know if you're going to be gone for a day or so. And a vacation, definitely give us a call. We'll do a vacation watch
Right.
and stop by a couple times a day.
Yeah, that is our most popular program.
Yes, it
is
is.
the commission, or the vacation watch, where we
Right.
will check. It's absolutely free.
Absolutely free.
Hundreds and hundreds of people every summer. I would
Oh,
guess
yes.
it's probably in the thousands.
I would
actually.
say so, yes.
Where we go out and check the homes, try to check it as often as we can.
Right.
And the one thing I would also tell our listeners and viewers, that if, let's say that you do not have an alarm system on your home,
Right.
I think the one thing you can do is go ahead and maybe get some decaling, maybe get a
Right.
sign and put it out that you do have an alarm.
Right.
Because these people are opportunists. If they walk up and you see a sign in the driveway, a sign in the window, it says alarm system in place, cameras in use, that what they may do is just go to an easier target.
Right. And it may just turn them away that time.
And we know today that sadly, most of our burglaries, or a disproportionate number of our burglaries are committed by people to support a drug habit.
Yes, it is. They'll steal from their own family, strangers, anybody, and it's to support a drug habit of heroin. Usually the heroin's the drug of choice right now.
Right.
It's cheap, easy to get, and it's highly addictive.
Yeah, we see that time and time again. Most of our theft-related offenses are probably related to drug-related.
Right.
You've been around 17 years. What's some of the big changes you've seen as far as within the community within those 17 years? What would be one of the things that would be dramatic? Okay, you think about
You got me stuck. Oh, gosh.
the equipment or
Equipment's great equipment.
training?
Yes, training's great. We try to make sure that we give everybody the most up-to-date training in the department. We do
Okay.
that several times a year. Good cars, reliable cars. Yes.
Better equipment. So there's been some changes within that
Right.
period of time. I think the other thing, you mentioned this before we came on the air, to talk a little bit, now that school is back in place,
Right.
to talk about school bus safety.
Right. School and school bus safety. Be careful. The kids are out there walking. We got high school kids driving, and on the school buses, those school buses are stopped. The red light's on, their stop sign out. You're to stay 100 feet back, and don't pass them until those kids are off and the lights are off.
You know, I got a call, it's been about 3 weeks ago, from a bus driver in our county, and she indicated that on any given day, she will have 3 cars that will not stop when the flashers are on. And I found that pretty amazing and pretty scary.
Right.
So one of the things we're going to do is we're actually going to put a deputy on her bus and then have a cruiser in the area. And when people do not obey that, do not stop to let these kids on and off the bus, they will be charged and ordered into court.
Good.
Because that is one of the violations that it could affect a kid's life. And and for the life of me, I cannot imagine why someone wouldn't stop with the flashers.
Right. I don't know what they would be in that big of a hurry for. A lot of times these kids are crossing in front of the school bus. They're waiting for the school bus driver to say, okay, cross. And then when you're in too big of a hurry and going out around it, it's going to be a big catastrophe.
Absolutely. So we're going to ask folks to slow down. Certainly when you're in those school zones,
Watch.
slow down,
Yeah.
20 miles an hour.
It
Be
means
careful.
20 miles an
It means
hour.
20. And those are one of the violations where we don't give a lot of
Right.
warnings, that when people violate. There's certain laws where the deputy has a little discretion, but on some of these, if you're passing a school bus, if you're going through a school zone
Lights
too
flashing.
fast, you're going to be
You're gonna
ordered
get a
into
ticket.
court.
Yes.
Be ordered into court. This week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, and with us is Sergeant Marian Devault, 17-year veteran, a sergeant with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Thinking back over the years, I'm going to put you on the spot. This could be a tough one. Is there one incident or one call that kind of comes to mind that you're thinking that this was one of the things that, whether it was on third trick or whether it was on second, that
Wow. There's so many things I go blank when you say it. I guess the best part of the job is if something happens and you can give somebody good news.
right?
Good news that I found your child, or
Yeah, those kind of things
that
make a
would
big
probably be the
difference.
best.
Yeah, because so many
We don't
times
wanna
it's not good.
You're right.
It's not good. So if you can give them, you found the child,
Right.
those kind of things. Have you, and typically if there is a child missing, what's some of the protocol that we try to go through in the sheriff's office to locate that child?
Under 12, we're going to call everybody out. And that means the fire department, us, anybody that's close. We may ask Columbus.
Okay,
They are very good about bringing their chopper over.
bringing the helicopter,
Right.
yeah,
And we'll all stops.
yeah.
Right.
And we will not give up until we
Right.
find that child. And one thing that's important, I think parents need to understand this, that the sooner we get the call to start looking for that
Right.
child, the better. And we ask parents, the first thing to do is look around your house, look around your yard, look under the bed, look in the closets,
Definitely.
those kind of things, because often that's where we find the kids.
We have found a 2-year-old, the parents panic, of course, that's natural, had curled up under the bed asleep,
Yeah.
and he was still in the house.
So that's one of the first things. But I would just urge our viewers and listeners, if you do have a child, especially a young child, please don't hesitate. Get on the phone, get us out there, get us started, because those minutes become precious when
Right.
you're dealing with a child, or maybe you have a child with autism or someone that has some kind of issue that could be life-threatening.
call us first, get us going, and then you check your house. Check all that, gives you something to do, makes the time go not seem so long, and
Right.
we'll get there and help you. And if you have to tell us, hey, we found them in the meantime, great.
Great. Absolutely. Well, we're just about out of time. Do appreciate you being
Thank
with
you.
us, and a great couple weeks, a lot of good information. And again, I want to thank the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy that put this program together each and every week, and certainly you, the viewers and listeners, that invite us into your homes and your cars each and every week to share things that are going on within Fairfield County, especially within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Well, the clock on the wall says it's time to go. Until next week, same time, same place. If you're out there driving, buckle up. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
Jay.